Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. I'm Tim Farmer and we're outdoors. Now let me tell you what, I like to get my food outdoors, I like to cook my food outdoors, I like to grow my food if I can. Tonight we'll start with a visit to my friend Rick Hill's farm. We'll begin our day in a 1946 Willys Jeep that he restored. We'll take a ride down to his asparagus patch. We'll show you how to raise asparagus. We'll also do a little fishing, bring both of them back here, cook them up outside on the grill. Let's start our wonderful evening of fishing and fun right now. All right, we're driving down here in the 1946 Willys to look at the asparagus bed of Mr. Rick Hill, who is a naturalist, artist, gardener, fish filleter, many things. Hey, thanks for being with us today.
I have filleted many a fish.
We've had many adventures together over the years.
Yes, we have.
And you know, you're a well-rounded guy. We've all seen your artwork. But you know what? As we get older, we start thinking a little bit more about what we're eating, where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the availability and if you have a little bit of land, even if you live in the city, you can do raised beds and do a lot of your own gardening. Now, there's obviously a little bit of fence here for good reason.
Yeah, the white-tailed deer population on the hill farm is very high.
Well, I'll tell you what you basically have here is you've just put, tell me what your soil is and what your makeup is there.
Well, as you know, this part of the country is lots of clay, makes good clay soil, so I decided with asparagus, when you plant asparagus, you need to prepare your bed site, because remember, it's a perennial plant.
Right.
So when you plant this, it's done, and it could supply food, asparagus spears, for the next 20, 25 years if you do it right. But so you need to dig deep when you're making the bed and amend the soil then. Add lots of compost if you have it, manures, things like that. I even put, I'd save my fish from filleting fish, and I'd save the carcasses and I'd bury them real deep in there along with compost and manure and whatnot.
You can't beat that.
And then put it all back, and then you put your crowns in. And
No,
just
it's not like a regular plant. You don't just throw some seeds out. You can actually buy in the store.
Right.
What's the starter for asparagus?
Get a good garden store. They're called crowns.
Right.
And they've got the fibrous roots coming off of them, and then you put them in a little trench. You need a trench, and you put them in there, and you put a little, as they start coming up, you coming to life, you put a little soil on them on the sides of the trench until they're even, where this is even now. And this, they've been here in this bed for about, this is the fourth spring. And now, the first year you shouldn't harvest. The second year is pretty iffy. You're better really just leave it alone. Let the plants, the root systems grow. Third year, you can make a good harvest. After that, you can really go after them. Yeah, you harvest for a few weeks, and then you stop harvesting. Generally, I think the best is maybe around an 8-inch spear. As you can see, some of these have gotten away from me and got a little tall. But after you harvest for a few weeks, you can just kind of gauge it by how old your bed is and how strong they look, and you can stop and leave them to grow, and then they'll grow into a big fern-like plant, and that's where they photosynthesize and get the energy to feed the roots, and then they turn real pretty in the fall, and then after that you just cut them down and add compost, a little compost every year, and you're good to go.
Let's go inside and visit the Hill Asparagus Garden here.
Let's go.
All right, everybody recognizes this point. That's the fun part, but it takes a while to get there.
Right. It's you have to be patient. Like I said, you know, it could take 3 years before you can really start. But after that, every spring you can look forward to fresh asparagus. The nutrient level and the taste is so much higher if you grow it yourself and say, let's have asparagus for dinner tonight, or whether it's squash or whatever it is, and you go pick it right off the vine, or cut your asparagus, take it in, or tomatoes, whatever it is. They don't sit around in the store, they're not shipped.
Or, if you can't do that, figure out where your closest farmer's market is.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how you harvest this.
All right, you get right about at the ground level, or just a little below, and cut them off.
Man, look at that.
Now some of these got away from me, got a little tall. And you see that, now see this one's not quite ready, and then there's other ones coming up in this little hill, and there's one right there. And you will notice, we forgot to mention that you notice I have these stones around here.
Yeah.
These blocks, these lock-in landscape blocks. I did this so I could add more topsoil, more compost, because of the clay we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because these really feed and the roots really go deep. So if you have clay soil, a bed that you can build up is an advantage. You'll notice what's this plant here that's scattered around here and there. It's my little experiment. It's clover. And as you know, clover is a nitrogen fixer. It's a legume, and it helps add nitrogen to the plants.
So you put that in there on
So
purpose?
no, I put in compost and some manure, and it just happened to have clover seed in it. So the clover came up, and I thought, you know, I'm going to leave some of it in. In the summer, it's like a ground cover under this. It shades it, and they seem to thrive well with the asparagus. It's just sort of a little experiment.
Rickster, we have the green portion of our meal. All we need is a little protein. But first, hey, take me for another ride in that Jeep.
You bet. And I knew you were going to ask that. I knew it.
$250.
I'll think about it too.
Think about it. I need just one more ride, maybe two. $300, Rick.
My son spent a lot of time on this.
It's a beautiful piece of work right here. A little piece of history.
He did a lot of sanding.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to go pick up some fishing poles and maybe try to catch a fish. What do you think?
I say it's perfect time.
I hate fishing though, don't you?
Yeah, it's a chore.
We probably should go anyway though. We got to bring meat back to the women.
Yeah. They're always hungry.
All right, we got our greens for dinner. You know, there's nothing better than something right on the garden. But you know what? Your pond here, it's probably what, less than an acre? An acre maybe?
Oh, this pond here is, I bet it's only 2/10 of an acre, maybe 3.
And it's just full of catfish.
Right? If you like channel cats real well, you get some fingerlings, you get the floating fish food. And
Train them up on that?
Yeah, and they'll come to the surface and eat that. And once you got them really working on that, then you feed them on a regular basis. And when you get them up, you can raise them up to a good eating size faster than you would ever imagine. And they're really mild. They're really good.
Right in your own backyard.
Sure.
Well, you got them all confused thinking they're your bud. Now we're going to go see if we can pull one out and eat him for dinner.
Well, I try not to get too close a relationship with the...
No, you don't have them named.
No, I don't name them like Whiskers or anything like that.
I'll tell you what, I hate getting out of this Jeep.
Let's go see if we can catch one.
Let's go catch one. You know where everything's from here. It's all fresh. You know, it's a little bit different. It's almost like did you ever go to a restaurant and you see your lobster in the tank there before you pull it out? And I'm telling you what, the quicker you catch it or grow it and put it on the table, to me, the better it is.
Uh-oh, I think I got a visitor.
Good thing you got braided line.
You tried to bite me.
That's just mean. You never bite the hand that feeds you. This could be fillet number 3 and 4 right here.
Here, let me get the net. I think yours might be a little bit bigger than mine. Get over here.
I don't know. Ooh, man, they can pull.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna try to get him on in here. There we go. And just like that, we got dinner.
How about that?
And just like that, we got a boneless fillet.
You got a fillet there.
Oh, man.
And guess what? There's one on the other side.
One for me and one for you. One for Nikki and Gina.
That's all right.
2. Well, you know, we know what's in fish. Hey, step back into naturalist mode and in nutritionist mode and tell us why you need some fish every now and then.
Well, fish is a real easily digested protein. And we all know, doctors' advice these days from studies in any country you want to talk about, that a diet high in fish is much better than red meat.
Omega-3s?
Well, yeah, and you know, even fresh fish have omega-3s like a catfish, but in lesser amounts than a cold water fish, like a herring or sardine and salmon, things like that.
Rickster, we got fish.
They're ready. All they need to do is be trimmed and washed. And you can soak them. After you wash them, you can soak them in a little salt water for a few hours if you want to. You know, different people have different preferences, but these are really mild. And we may soak them for just a couple of hours, and then either we use them right away or they go in the freezer for later use.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I know where these are going.
All right.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about. I tell you what, let's load up, pack up our fishing poles, and head over the hill and I'll see you back at the house in a little while.
Sounds good.
You know what, Rick? We got dinner almost ready. As far as
I'm getting hungry.
You grew it all, man. All we gotta do is put it on the grill and go. And we'll get Nikki to put on some baked potatoes or something like that. Rick Hill, you made it.
I made it.
You got down on your hands and knees and you cut some more asparagus. That's a batch.
That's
right
right.
there.
We've got a pretty good little group of asparagus. It's that time of year. They're really starting to come on. It's warmed up a little bit.
Now, are these the same fish we caught the other day?
Same fish.
Same fish.
Very fish.
Just a couple days ago, we looked at your asparagus bed, and my mouth was watering. We saw your fish, and you know, you did a lot there for a small pond. You got another one in the bag. It's a little bit bigger.
That's right.
But you got, goodness knows how many days worth of protein in that pond if you had to count it up.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's all fresh fish from the water that feeds the ponds. Is right out of the wood lot.
Right out of your
So
own
you know
spot.
where the water comes from, and you know the fish they really have a mild taste. They're really good, which we're about to find out. And they fight real good too, as you can attest.
Yes, they
to.
do. And I ain't scared to eat a little bit of catfish. You know,
All right.
Rick Hill is the guy who did the artwork on the Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen cookbook. But anyhow, now we got to eat.
All right.
All right, now
I'm starving.
I've been over the place. We got cedar planks,
All right.
which have been soaking,
That's right.
so we won't set them on fire.
All right.
And we're going to put a little olive oil over top and on the bottom. If you'll lift those up, Rick, I'll put some
right.
underneath so they won't
I'm
stick
gonna
on
do
the
these
bottom.
two.
And this is fresh catfish right out of Rick's pond.
All right.
And it's so simple. And I've had these at your house and they're wonderful. And I'll put these on here if you want to brush them.
We'll do
Spread it out. We're going to take some Dizzy Pig, Tsunami Spin. It's got paprika, it's got sea salt. It's
There's
got
a nice color to it too.
It's got a nice color and a nice taste. We're also going to use that on your fresh asparagus along with some olive oil.
I think that's a good idea.
And that is already looking good. Now, the asparagus is so simple. We just take a little bit of olive oil. We're trying to keep this fairly healthy. And you're going to put those in respective groups. Enough for
I'm going to lay
Enough
these
for
here and
Rick and Gina, who is your wife, who might help us out here in a minute, and Nikki.
put these here.
Yep. I'm telling you what.
I don't know where we got such great looking asparagus. Here, want to drizzle a little on top
drizzle
of
some
them
more?
there, and then I'll do a little brushing. All
Where
right,
seasoning
good.
can
Very
stick
good.
to it. And just
All
a
right.
little more Dizzy Pig on that.
All right.
Not a whole lot. And you know what? We've got our egg right now up to 350 degrees. We've got our corn already going. We may take it off and set it aside and let it start cooling down because this doesn't take long. You don't want your asparagus, I don't like mine overcooked. I like it still to have a little crispy in it, don't you?
That's right. Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, as you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take this corn off and set it aside
All
so we
right.
don't burn our little mouths.
I'm going to wrap this up a little.
All right. We
Great
got one
setup.
more step we got to do here. Let's get Gina in for this
All right.
because we know that she does most of the cooking at the Hill House. You're the hunter, the gatherer,
Yeah.
and she's the finesse. Okay, Gina.
Yeah, I can't even pretend to be the one that cooks.
Here's Gina, Rick's lovely wife. Now, tell us what we need to do here, just for a little extra flavor.
Just for a little extra flavor, you just take a little bit of this Vidalia onion, or sweet onion is what I use. Lay it.
Every fillet gets one?
Every fillet gets a little slice of onion.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Adds a little bit of color. And then,
A little bit of bell.
and I've done peppers different ways. You can slice them into little rings if you want.
Just enough to get a little
Just
bit of
enough
flavor
to
in
get
there.
the little flavor.
You want a little drizzle on each one of those onions?
A little drizzlage.
Little drizzle of that,
On top
or
of that.
butter if you have it. So
But this,
And then
I'm
just a little more.
going to use this instead.
I've also
Dizzy
put
Pig
Parmesan
on top of
cheese in
that?
there, too.
I'm going back to the big hole. And tell you what,
All right.
let's go ahead and put our asparagus and our fish on, and we're
I
going to be
think-
good to go here. Thank you very much, Gina.
You're welcome.
All right, Rick, you know what? Let's switch places. Tell you what I'll do. I will burp, then open the egg so I don't lose any arm hair.
All right.
And then we'll set
Step
everything
over
on.
here
The
and
corn
on.
is cooling as we speak.
All right. Are we
Go
ready?
ahead and drop that on. Perfect. And again, we're at 350.
Here we go.
One more asparagus. Look at there. There's our whole meal. There's our
Yeah.
corn. There's our fish.
Boy, doesn't that look good?
Doesn't that look pretty?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut her down.
It has begun. It's
Get
cooking.
back to 350 degrees. And let's sit down, have a drink.
All
Walk
right.
over here. All right, guys, it's done. Come and get it. Cafeteria style. Oh man, look at that.
Yummy.
There's one down. 2 down. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
That looks
next.
excellent.
Yeah.
Next up, asparagus.
Oh, man.
Tell me it doesn't look good. All farm
The
fresh
last couple pieces.
from the hill farm, except for the corn.
Yummy.
Except for the corn. It's a little early for corn, Tim.
It is a little, we can't do it all.
Yeah.
You know what? Straight from the hill farm we have Rick Hill asparagus, Gina's recipe that Rick so nicely prepared for us. What do you call this?
Cedar plank catfish.
Cedar plank catfish with some onions, some pepper, a little dizzy pig on it. You know what? How about let's dig in?
I'm ready.
Let's quit looking at it. I
Yeah.
can't look anymore. I gotta eat
Yep.
it.
Yeah, we got to try this.
I tell you what, you can't beat fresh.
That's good. The smoky flavor.
You know what? That is so. You know what? I guarantee you, most people who would eat that
Oh, man.
would not think it was catfish.
That's mild, isn't it? With the slight smoky taste.
You know, I put some big
Wow.
hickory chunks on there, which gives it that nice smoky taste. That doesn't taste like catfish. I mean, I like catfish.